Welcome, welcome, welcome back. All Things Business Podcast 5. This is fifth series, episode 1. So we're just getting back started up for the year. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We got a good one lined up for you tonight. As you went out today on all the platforms, we got the great Miss Tina E. Grimes today out in St. Louis, Missouri. One of my superstars. I've been mentioning her since I think she was 22, but let's get her in here, pull her in here. She just got off another event and rushed home to be on this one. So we thank you. Good evening. How you doing, dear?
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think you used to say, if I was any better, I'd be twins. I think
I'd be twins.
I remember you used to say that. That's how I feel today.
You remember a lot of my old sayings, didn't you?
I really do.
So what's been happening since we last talked? What's been going on with you? What's been happening with your world? Because I know you're just all over the map, and you got international people that come and pay for your time, and also your daughter's got some things going on. She's an entrepreneur as well. And so what have you been up to in the last, say, couple months since we last spoke?
Yeah, I have been so busy and so on fire since we last talked.
What are you not?
Yeah, some very exciting things have happened since we last talked. So I think that I told you about some things that were coming up. Like I told you, I said, I'll be doing a TV show, for example.
Yes.
And so that is in editing right now. So all of the episodes of season 1 was taped. And so now I am just so excited, but you will not believe the plot twist. So I told you that they've been asking me for about 4 years to do a show. Well, I have this rising star, my daughter. So it's called the Tina and Maya Show.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Tina stands for turning intent into action, of course. And Maya is moving you to action. So it is the first intergenerational show that is a dialogue around leadership and communication. So it's amazing. That's what I can tell you. It is phenomenal. We're talking all things leadership from an intergenerational lens, and it's absolutely amazing. So not only have I been on the speaker circuit, but now my college senior is also on the speaker circuit as well. Her new book also came out since we last talked. I tell people she's one of my favorite clients. So that's why I talk about her. So her book came out and Macy's headlined her, and my son's doing phenomenal things as well. And then business-wise, also, it's just, I talked about last year, just global expansion, and it's just happening. It is happening, and I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for you. Now, do you have a copy of her book right there handy?
I sure do. Absolutely.
Let's chat about that.
Okay, so here's her book.
Okay, oh. We'll put a link below for everybody who wants to get a hold of that book.
Okay. Yeah, her book is called Triple Threat. And so Maya Grimes, and her website is Maya, M-Y-A, Maya Grimes, GRIMES.com. And so it's called Triple Threat because when Maya graduated from high school, she amassed over $1 million in academic scholarship offers. And that
you said over $1 million. Repeat that. I want people to really hear what you said.
So when she graduated from high school, she amassed over $1 million, and she can rattle off the exact number down to the penny. She amassed over $1 million in academic scholarship offers. And so she was able to select, from a lot of choices where she wanted to go to school, all expenses paid, which as her mama, I'm so happy about that. And so she went viral back then. They started calling her the $1 Million Scholar. But what they didn't know was there's so much more to the $1 Million Scholar. So she is also a Division I track athlete. So she's a long and triple jumper, taught herself how to jump. She was actually a star volleyball player, turned triple jumper during COVID. And then she's an entrepreneur extraordinaire. And so the beauty of Triple Threat, Al, is that she started the Triple Threat organization. So she's verified on Instagram. She has that many followers. But her whole platform is giving back scholarship resources, brand ambassadorship opportunities and all of that to other scholars, because she's a brand ambassador for so many different companies. And she is now just giving back to the community on a daily basis. And all she asks is that they just come on and share and say, hey, I got the scholarship, or I got the ambassadorship, or whatever it is. So it's absolutely amazing. That's that heart of service that we talked about.
Yes.
I tell my kids all the time, I get really excited when they do things, and because I'm a mom, but it's that character stuff. I mean, I'm supposed to, right? But it's that character stuff. It's when I'm walking on the campus at the university, and the president of the university, who hopefully is watching this, the president of Jackson State University, and the provost, like all of them know her. They know me as well. But when I hear them talk about her, it's that character stuff. When they say she is just a wonderful person and she gives back and all of those things, like that's the stuff that matters. When they're talking about my son and saying, you know, he's such a nice young man and things like that, like that's the stuff that really, really matters. And you get that stuff right, you know, character can open doors for you that, you know, just mere talent cannot. You know, and that's been my lived experience, you know, being good to people, caring about people, putting people first has opened more doors for me than my talent and abilities alone ever could.
Yeah. Now your daughter, give us her age. How old is she now?
She's 21 now.
21, that's what I thought, yeah.
She's 21, and she is a graduating senior with a major, her degree will be in business administration with a concentration in marketing, and her marketing skills are off the chain. So any company that needs marketing, I mean, the girl's skills are off the chain. So
what's that old saying? The apple don't fall too far from the what?
From the tree. The tree.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let's put a little spotlight on her for a second. What do you think to help mold both your children to be as awesome as they are? What do you think that you did as a mom?
Yeah, so hands down, you know, as a mom, now I will say, you know, they had both parent influence from both of their parents growing up. As a mom, what I was very purposeful to do, Al, is first of all, give them Christ. I mean, first and foremost, like I just had to give them that gift of knowing and understanding what salvation is all about and having their own personal relationship with God, because
Amen.
You know, there's only so much mama can do, right? And so when Maya was caught up in a tornado, because that happened also since we last talked, a tornado hit here in St. Louis. She was blown out of the car, dragged down the street, and she was screaming, "Jesus save me," while she held on to a light post, right? So it's those moments that I'm like, there's a lot that I can give you, but if I had not given you an introduction to Christ, you know, you wouldn't have known who to call on in the midst of a storm when mama was 500 miles away, right? So first and foremost, that's what I have given my kids. And I wanted them to have that solid relationship with God for themselves. And then after that, I felt like my role was modeling, because you can tell your kids a lot of things,
right?
But modeling and trying to walk things out before them has been a difference maker. And so it's funny when I watch Maya and I'm like, wow, you know, the things that you didn't know that they picked up on. And we talk about a lot of that in the show. You know, just the work ethic. I believe I gave them that gift of having work ethic. I believe that I gave them that gift of really understanding the importance of tapping into purpose.
Yeah. And I think you tapped in yours at a young age, because I remember when that's why I always called you a superstar, because you know, you had it in you.
At 23 years old, I got so crystal clear on purpose at 23 that now let me tell you the beauty of that. So my great aunt, who is 92, she's my grandmother's last living sibling, and she is a phenomenal Martha Gray. I mean, she is a phenomenal woman. She's an educator, retired educator. She's in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And she reminds me every chance that she gets that my great grandmother talked to her children, to my grandmother and all of my grandmother's siblings, every day when they got up in the morning. And this is in White Castle, Louisiana. Okay, so let's paint the picture. two streets in a river road long, right? 2 streets in a river road long.
One stop sign. Stop. Goodbye.
I didn't say a stop sign. There wasn't a stop sign. There was not a stop sign, 2 streets in the river road long. And my great grandmother every day asked her kids, do you know what your purpose is? And if they said no, she said, you need to pray and ask God, what is your purpose? And my great aunt tells me that to this day. She said, Tina, all the purpose stuff that you talk about and how purpose driven you are. I said, yes, ma'am. She said, that's not by happenstance. Your great grandmother every day, your great grandmother asked her children, do you know your purpose? And
you know what? I'm gonna cut in just for a second. I want the audience to understand. Maybe they need to ask their children and grandchildren every day what their purpose is. That's a nugget right there. Continue. I just had to throw that in there.
Yes, because it's life-changing when you understand your purpose. And as I stated for you before, when I talked to you on the podcast, purpose for me is it's why I breathe. Like when I really think about purpose, it's like when I inhale and exhale, like when I open my eyes and I go, woo, I'm still here.
Not done yet, Lord.
Woo, I'm still here, right? I woke up, I'm still here. Well, it's really purpose for me is taking a deep breath in and exhaling, saying, I'm still here. Now, what am I here to do? And as you know, at 23, I just was very blessed to start to get so clear on purpose. Now, there were things that I saw that I didn't fully know how they would manifest and how, they would come to fruition. So now I'm sitting and walking, operating in some of those things today that I saw, 33 years ago. And I'm going, oh, that's what this was all about, right? But my great grandmother said to her children, I need you to know and understand your purpose. And so to your question, like that is one of the greatest things that I believe that I gave my kids. And here's the thing, my children are very different. Maya and Mason are very different. And I let them know early on that was perfectly okay, because each of them has a purpose to walk out. And so I wanted, and I still continue to talk to them about tapping into purpose, because it's nothing like waking up every day. For me as an entrepreneur, knowing and understanding that I am doing purpose, that I am living and walking and breathing purpose.
Yeah. And
that's being a catalyst and a connector in other people's lives. And that's turning intent into action, as my business name is, because my gifting is to help other people get crystal clear on purpose, whether that's individuals or organizations, and really helping them understand and tap into purpose. Sometimes they don't even see it. And that's where I come in as a visionary. Like that's my role, like to help them to even see the things that they have not even seen for themselves yet. But then not just live in that lane of intentionality, but to move from intent into action, right? Because we can spend all of our lives saying, oh, I know my purpose and this is what I'm going to do, and never get around to doing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost, I had a friend of mine used to have a round coin. He gave it out. He says, when I get around to it. And so it was kind of cute. So he gave one of those out. I thought it was great. Now,
my grandmother did the same thing. And I tell that story. She gave me a little wooden thing and it had TUIT written on it. And that's what she told me. She said, always keep this because people are always trying to get around to it. And I believe that a lot of that is the premise of my turning intent into action. Very early on in life, I was blessed to have people in my life, my mother, my aunts, and my grandmother and my grandfather, and people that didn't just talk about what they were going to do, but
they did it.
And they
got that's it. The difference. I think that's the difference in 5%ers and 95%ers. They talk about getting around to one day. Well, we just get it done. And it's so easy to get done, but just do it. And you figure it out on the way. If you don't know it, you learn it. That's wonderful. Absolutely. I'm going to go into something you said that was pretty profound on the podcast. You said people had tried to box you in, and you made a decision to be a differentiator. So go into that a little bit. How did they try to box you in?
Yeah. So look, let me tell the audience, you can't box me in. You can't box me in. And see what I talked about on the podcast. And I'm saying, look, when I start talking about purpose, when you get crystal clear on what God has called you to do, then you internalize that. And so I got crystal clear early on my purpose. So it didn't matter to me what other people were doing. And I was able to block out the noise when people started trying to tell me to move in ways that did not align with my purpose. So so this boxed in thing, so people started noise. I call it's all this noise. You should do this. You need to do that. Because when people don't understand your purpose, they can't really instruct you properly because they don't understand what your purpose is. And so people started trying to box me in. And even as I started moving and doing things, they would say, well, no, like identify your avatar. And I believe that that is a thing to do, right? In marketing and things like that. Identify your target audience, your avatar. Now, that is a thing. But for me, I kept telling them, I'm like, I'm not called to one demographic.
Come on.
I'm not called to one geographical area. I'm called to all people, and I'm called to the world, right? Because wherever there are people need to be able to learn how to connect with each other. People need to up level their leadership skills. People need to learn, like that art of connecting that I talk about in my book. When I'm talking about helping people to turn intent into action, it doesn't matter what your skin color is to be able to turn intent into action, right? It doesn't matter if you live in the United States or if you're in Africa or where you are. If you have that innate drive on the, and thing on the inside of you, it's my job to come and be a catalyst and to help you to turn intent into action, right? So I didn't allow people to box me in. It was very hard because there were people that had good intentions and there were people that were very smart and they had done things and excelled in various areas. But I learned very early on to just glean, I guess, and to, what do they say, like chew the fish and spit out the bones. My great grandmother used to say.
Great grandma.
I'm an old soul. I grew up around my grandparents and great grandparents. So I didn't let them box me in, but I did take the things that were good that I could use. And then the other things, I just had to let them go, right? Because had I let people box me in, I would still be sitting at that desk, as they told me, at a good job, making good money, right? But not fulfilling my purpose.
That's right. And that, and sometimes people try to box you in. They don't know what your purpose is, but they see them and they don't want you to get ahead of them. And then they want to put you in your place and stay between the lines. You said something that rung something special to me as well. When I met you years ago, doing local meetings and then, all of a sudden going from, coast to coast. And now, like you said about in different countries, you know what? Now because of this channel, we're across the world now. And believe it or not, United States is the 6th largest viewing for our channel. United States, even while I live here, it's number 6 on the list. We're better. Well, anyway, I love that. Something else that I want to talk about that I really enjoy. You talking about explaining your capacity in your capacity of the area that So talk about a little bit about the capacity, people taking on different capacity.
Oh, yeah. So I was talking about, and it's interesting because this has come up so much recently. I was just in Columbia, Missouri during a retreat for a ministry that I love their pastor. She and I went to high school together. And I was telling them that one of the things that was so freeing for me is when I stopped trying to strike balance, because you were asking me, how do I balance these various areas of life? And I will tell you, I used to try to really balance. And so when I think of balance, I think of just that, it's not like this, but I'm trying to make them really like this. And that was so hard for me. First of all, I'm a high I personality style. And so I'm very outgoing. I'm extremely extroverted. But I'm good at a lot of different things. And so I like trying out a lot of different things. And I have a lot of things going at one time and things like that. Now, some people, tell me that I, might have ADHD diagnosis. I don't know, but it worked for me, right? So, because they say you like all over, but I'm able to manage things like that because I don't stress myself with trying to strike balance anymore.
Right.
I gave that up. I said, I'm not going to ever find perfect balance, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at things in these different capacities, and I'm going to actually identify, okay, there are patterns and seasons in my life. And as I evaluate the patterns and seasons in my life, there are certain times of the year that I'm more busy doing certain things. There's certain business times when business I know is booming more. You know how we get to see the trends in our business and what we do. And so instead of trying to strike balance, what I do is I look at, well, this percentage of my time I'm spending with this percentage of my time I'm spending with this, and this kind of like a pie chart kind of thing. But then I extend myself grace. And I didn't do that early on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't get something done on my checklist by 7 o'clock, then I was going to stay up till midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning. I do have some late nights now, but I extend myself grace to be able to arrow things over now and say, okay, this doesn't have to get done today. This can get done on the next day. So I look at it as like that pie graph, and it's always shifting, right? Mm-hmm. And there is an author that I gleaned some of this later on, because the funny thing is, for me, I have been thinking about some of these things since my early 20s. And then later on, I'll read something and somebody is explaining, I'm like, oh, this is what I was thinking about, and they'll say it in a different way. But that's what I call like those shifts. And when I'm coaching my clients, because I coach a lot of high-level executive CEOs of companies and things like that, and I'm a safe space for them to be able to be vulnerable. And I just tell a lot of them, stop trying to strike balance. It's perfect balance. You're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you're not. So let's talk about what's on your plate. And then let's look at the patterns and the trends of various seasons of your life, how things work out in certain months and things like that. Because we do have patterns and seasons. And then let's extend some grace and be able to move throughout those months and days in a way that it works for us. And then be okay to arrow it over and go to sleep and get rest, because that's something that, in my early 20s and 30s and probably early 40s, and I'm probably getting close to saying how old I really am, right? But in my early 20s, 30s, and even early 40s, like I can remember those times when I was like, oh no, I have to get it all done. And then, I wake up the next morning like, no, this could have really waited until the next day.
Isn't it amazing how we evolve over time and thinking that super important now is not as important as we grow, as we mature in life and in our goals and segments of the areas of our lives is amazing. I want to bring up something you said that I really enjoyed. I love how you said, you lead with service. And a lot of people don't do that. They talk when they should be listening to understand how to better service their client. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I'm going back to one of those quotes that you used to say, and I thought it was hilarious. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason.
God, you got to remember a lot of my quotes.
Yeah, you all have to understand. Al started with me when I was 23 years old, right? And so that's been a very, very long time, very, very long time ago. And, you always said that. And being a person who, again, is a high I, I'm a talker. So as you see, and I'm sure your audience is going, yep, she sure is. But here's the thing. But, as a high I and a person that, God's just giving me that gift. I got the straight A's on my report card, but it always said talkative, And so one of the things that I find to be very important in serving my clients, I can serve them much better if I listen. And I'm very purposeful to listen to what they're saying, because people will tell you what they need. And so a lot of people in sales or consultancy try to go in and tell other people what they need. And I'm like, no, be quiet and listen. People will tell you what they need. And then you follow up with it and tell them how you can serve them. And so that's how I built my company for the past 33 years. And I have repeat clients. I have clients that have been with me for 33 years. They still refer other people. And that's individual coaching clients, that's companies, that's ministries, because I understand that I am a talker. And I practiced and I learned the art of listening.
The art of listening. So that's a beautiful point. The art of listening. If more people get the art of listening, like she said, I said, that's why God gave us two of these, one of these, to listen twice as much as we talk. I love it. And you know what I love also that you shared with us on the last podcast, that after 33 years, you never had to advertise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because when you lead with with a servant's heart, first of all, it's always my goal to exceed expectations. I posted this recently, and it's so true. When I'm speaking, if I am speaking, giving a keynote, if I'm doing a training, it doesn't matter if there are 10 people in the room or tens of thousands of people in the room. You're going to get my very best, and I'm going to super serve you. Like, it doesn't matter. There can be 3 people. There can be 1 person. Guess what? There could be a time when nobody shows up, and I'm going to talk to the chairs, and I'm going to super serve.
And that's how you get clients, because you're giving, like you said, you're serving, you're going above and beyond, and you're giving 100% of yourself, no matter if it's 1 or 10 or thousands. The same thing. I get it. So amazing.
Same thing. Yeah. And I make people feel special because I connect with them. And you connect with people when you listen to people.
Mm-hmm. Make them feel special.
Yeah. And people will say, I'll ask them about, their pet or their children. And there's nothing false about it. I mean, I care about people enough to learn more about people.
Mm-hmm.
And people like it when you care about what they care about.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's the art of listening. It's the art of connecting. And so I'm saying to the viewers right now, sometimes you may count yourselves out because, you're the analytical, you're like the highly C-wired person, and you say you don't connect well with people. Well, like, let those excuses go. Like, put in the work, turn intent into action, and find you a coach. I'm one, find you a coach that can help you to learn how to connect with people. Yeah. And it's okay to say to people, like right now, for some reason, and I know the reason really, a lot of times my heaviest load of people that I coach one-on-one are the people that are really great at what they do, but they're more the C-wired people. So they're more task first and not people first. And so I actually coach them and role play with them on how to actually connect with people. Because when you say to people, I'm working on this, they even appreciate the fact that you're working on it. So don't just sit back and say, I'm not a connector, I'm not a talker. If you want to be able to really go to another level in whatever it is that you're doing, it requires that you learn the art of connecting and how to connect better with people.
I agree. You said something also that I really, I want to ask you, since this is our last podcast and we had you on here, went out this morning. You were putting together a curriculum for a group or a manual for a group. It took you 8 months to do that as a group that you were mentoring up in Michigan. How's that come along?
Yeah, so I will tell you that was one of the most challenging assignments that I've taken on in 33 years. And I love a good challenge, which is why I actually took that on. When that company started talking to me, they wanted me to come in and do leadership training. So I was ready to go in and just start doing leadership training. But 2 weeks before we were supposed to start the training, and I was training the entire enterprise. And the way that it was designed is that I would spend a full 8-hour day with them, and they were in groups, based on their areas of responsibility and their areas of leadership and things like that. And I had a whole day mapped out with them where I would spend and do this leadership training on leadership and communications. Well, 2 weeks before the training started, a new CEO came on board. Now, this speaks to what you and I just talked about. Hey, the people had already paid me, right? So I'm already contracted and everything. And so I could have gone in and just said, no, we're going to do what you contracted me to do. But when I started hearing the vision of the new CEO, it was a lot different than the vision of the CEO who actually contracted me to do this year-long training. So I had to make a decision. Am I going to walk the walk and super serve like I say that I do? Because that's going to require me to sit with this new CEO and say, hey, I really do hear that you have a different vision. how can I execute training in a way that will encompass what your vision is? I'm telling you, I was like, wow, this is going to really take something, for me to do this, because I'm ready to go in and start getting rolling. And so when I sat with that CEO, Al, the CEO said, I didn't want to ask you that because, I didn't know you, like that. But I'm so impressed that you would take a step back to hear my vision. Well, that's how we went from me just going in and doing training to me actually writing curriculum, because what she wanted was so different than anything that I'd ever done. And it's so different than anything that their organization had ever seen. So I sat with her and we totally revamped it. And so that's when you interviewed me. The product came out beautifully. So it's not only my leadership and communications training that I normally do, but now I have an entirely new product that I can train on, because it's leadership and communications training through a trauma-informed lens, through an anti-racist lens, all the things that they were wanting to incorporate into that training. So it benefited them, it stretched me, but now I have a whole new product as well. So it's a win-win all the way around.
It's win-win. But not only that, I want to tell our audiences listening, the very point that she, listen what she did, she stepped back, listened to what the new person CEO wanted, instead of going in what she already had put together. And that's being smart. So this is not going to work. Let's sit down, let's communicate. Let's see what you want to see. What's your vision for the company? And let me write a curriculum around that. And everybody's happy. And now that she's got another side of her business that she added on because it's new CEO. So ladies and gentlemen, sometimes what we take as a negative is a positive. If you sit back and here again, communicate by listening to what the new person wants. I want to share something else that you talked about that was going down that same lane a little bit. When you go into a company and you try to get everybody on board on the vision of that company, and there's some of the members that are, as you talked about, they're wired different. So let's talk about how, when you go in, you try to get the person to make the decision and help everybody else get wired into the decision. We'll talk about that a little bit. I think that's right into what we're talking about here.
Yeah. So I will say, first of all, because I know there are a lot of visionaries listening right now. So being a visionary, people go, oh, visionary. I mean, it's an awesome responsibility to be a vision carrier, to be the holder of vision. So a lot of times what happens is when visionaries have something in mind, we as visionaries, we already know a whole lot more than the people that are on our team in terms of where we want to go and what the purpose is and things like that. And so oftentimes the visionary can start making changes and quick adjustments and things like that, and not necessarily have other people on board. He or she may not vision cast in a way where that leader or that visionary understands that people are wired very differently. So I am a person that's wired in a way that I'm able to pivot, shift, move, so if I'm a great kind of person to have on your team, because you can just say to me, hey, we got to go in this direction. And, I play basketball. Don't forget that, right? So, I usually have my basketball when I give this analogy, so you can throw the ball to me and I can pivot with you. And I'm not afraid of change. I'm good. I can think on the fly, like all of those kinds of things, but everybody's not wired in that way. So a good leader, a good visionary leader has to be able to assess that there are some people on the team that when you're making these quick moves and pivots, they're sitting on the fence afraid, because they're the people that are like, oh my God, I don't like change, and I'm very risk averse, and you can't move them that quickly. It's jarring for them. And so I've seen so many leaders mess up in this way because they will blame the people instead of taking the ownership or responsibility as the leader to bring the people along. And they'll say things like, oh, they just can't move. They're just not ready. They just can't. No, and it's not, they just can't. It's no, you leader, you have to learn how to vision cast in a way and understand the people that you're leading so that you're able to bring everyone along the journey. Like we also,
I like how you said that vision casting. That's another nugget, folks. I know she's giving you some good stuff here, but vision casting, continue.
Yeah, so that leader has to be able to look at the people that he or she is leading and say, okay, who are the people that I can get the buy-in from, easier as well. And then really, really pour vision into those people. Help them understand a little bit more of your process and your thinking, because then those people can be vision carriers, right? So you can clearly translate the vision to those people. Now you depend on them to be vision carriers so that they can take the vision to the masses in a way that enhances what you're already doing. And sometimes it's that quiet person. It's not always the person that's the loudest in the room. That's the loyal person. That's the vision carrier. Sometimes it's that quiet person that you translate that vision, and then now they're working for you, and that's what you want, but a lot of times as leaders, we don't take that time. And then when people start leaving, because what happens is people will leave your organization, they'll leave your ministry, they'll leave you when they feel like you, because they internalize that and say, you don't care about me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I love the idea how you do that. And you said something else that really stood out to me. It says you want to make everybody on the team feel valuable. Very key word. Everybody, not just some, but everybody feel valuable. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have to learn how to make everybody feel valuable. And see, I learned that from people in my life and watching people model that for me. And one of them is my grandmother, which is why I wrote Grandmother CEO and Grand, right? Because my grandmother, I tell these stories about her in Grandmother CEO, the volume 1 and 2, which are my first 2 books. And then I go on and I tell some of the other stories, like about her art of connecting in Grand, because my grandmother was a person that I watched go to the grocery store after she got off work almost every day. and I find myself like that too. Like, my grandmother was just saying, oh, what am I going to fix? And we stop at the grocery store, but it was the longest walk from the car to the door of the grocery store. The longest walk. And why is that? Because Elmer Basil Thomas and my maternal grandmother, Mary Ballou Davis, they were going to talk to every single person on the parking lot. I mean, there were people, hey, Miss Elmer, hey, Miss Mary, hey, Cousin Mary. They both were such great connectors and they valued people. I mean, I watched them. It didn't matter if it was the who's who of the town, or if it was the person who every time we went to the grocery store was just standing in front of the grocery store, probably unhoused. It did not matter. They gave every person the same level of attention. They stood there while I was hungry, ready to go home and eat. They stood there talking to that person, giving them their full undivided attention. They talked to the person about things that matter to them. That's that connecting stuff that I talk about in my book, because I watched them model that. And when you make people feel valued, I mean, I would see these people, like I see their heads rise or their chests poke out, because they felt like they were somebody when my grandparents got finished talking to them. And that's what we should do for people. And it's because really, like, God is no respecter of persons, right? So who are we to devalue someone because they don't have a certain title, or, because they haven't arrived, or whatever that is that we think, who we think they should be. Our role is to treat and value people. And that's what I found. I found that when you value people and you come from a place of authenticity, again, doors will open for you. People use this phrase a lot now. They say, my name is being spoken in rooms that I'm not in. Like, I know what that feels like, because I get people on a daily basis reaching out to me saying, oh, this person mentioned your name, or this person said this about you. One person that I really admire her work, and she's a visionary extraordinaire, is Maxine Clark, the founder of Build-A-Bear. And Maxine loves me, and I love Maxine and what she does. And I watch her. She's a person that I've watched value people. When I'm walking somewhere with her, she'll introduce me to someone, and hopefully she's watching this. She'll introduce me to someone and she'll say, oh, this is my friend Tina. And there's no one that does this work any better than she does. And I trust her. Like, someone values you enough to speak your name in rooms you're not in, and speak your names in rooms that you are in, and introduce you to other people. Like, that's what it is that I try to do for people. I'm not
a connector.
I'm a connector, and I'm a gate opener.
There's a reason why you're where you are today, because that was a skill that you at a young age going to the supermarket. You know, I was telling Mr. Clemens, I got a call for the day with a guy, one of my millionaire guys called me. He was crying and telling me how much he appreciated me getting him involved with network marketing. He owns 3 corporations a day, but he's springboarding other things like you did and other people do. It's just a blessing to know that you had affected somebody's lives by changing their lives. And I want to thank you for that, because you're amazing. And I see where it comes from. So that it, you know, apple don't fall too far from the tree. And I see why the kids are the way you are, because you, grandma and everybody, you going back and reflecting on that, and you built a business around that. And I think the most important thing you say is making people feel special, and people have lost that today. Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you for bringing that. Guys, I've been sitting in a master class tonight. I don't know about you guys around the world, but you guys got a lot today. I want to circle back to the beginning of our conversation earlier when you talked about, you couldn't talk about it before, but I don't know if you could talk about it now. We talked about the TV program, and you already got the first few episodes in. When is that coming out? Can you talk a little bit about that? Are you at liberty to, or?
Yeah. So again, it's called the Tina and Maya Show. So I'm sure Maya is watching.
Hi, Maya.
Tina stands for turning intent into action, and Maya is moving you to action. And so this is an intergenerational dialogue around leadership and communications. And I want to pause and say that I believe intergenerational dialogues and connection is just so important. And everything everything that I do, I try to I do make sure that I have voices represented at the table from every generation. And so we have recorded all of the episodes of season 1. And I'm sure my producer is listening right now. I'm sure he's on here listening in as well. He's amazing. And so it's in editing right now. It's in the editing phase.
So when can we, I hate to cut you, when can we expect to see this, and when and where? That's what I want to
Yeah.
Give me the meat, potatoes, and gravy.
Yeah, so I just talked to him. We have a meeting in the morning, actually. So had you asked me this tomorrow, I'd be able to give you an exact date, but I'm going to give you a projected date because he and I meet first thing tomorrow morning.
There you go.
So the beginning of April, I'm trying to make sure that the beginning of April that the show airs, because Maya and I are headlining an event in North Carolina.
All right. So where can we find this? Where's it going to be shown? So
yeah, so it'll be on all streaming platforms, you know, the Rokus and all the streaming platforms. It will be on, and then it's going to be repackaged and repurposed. And I'm learning all of this, these other media outlets, because it also will be a podcast turned into a podcast, and like a lot of very different things. You know, you probably know the name of this technical stuff, but they'll be, you know, pulling audio and doing things with that. But the show itself, beginning of April, it'll be on all the major streaming platforms. And we'll be leading up to that, you know, we'll be coming on quite a bit, making sure that our audience knows where to view the show.
Where to view the show. Okay, that's what I want to get. I was trying to pull that out of you. Pull it out of you. Where?
Yes.
I got a broad version.
And Andre, if you're listening right now and you want to drop something in the chat on the exact, feel free.
we love to be a part of that and help promote that, because, you know, you're a special lady. And I look back and all these years, and I look back at all the people that have done well. I mean, I'm so, you know, it's like a you know, when a parent see their children do well, you just get so excited, and you take that was good, you know. So I feel that about you, and I'm loving the lives and people's lives that you're touching, in corporations and organizations, because. And then, you know, I love the title of your book, you know, The Grind. I love the grand. I love that. And a few things in closing. What would you like to say in closing?
In closing, I do want to say, Grand, if you haven't gotten this, you really should get this. I just left an event as a guest author, and GRAND stands for Grit, Resilience, Ambition, Nurturance, and Devotion. Grit, Resilience, Ambition, Nurturance, and Devotion. And so I brought along my amazing sister friends from grade school, from college, from high school. These are phenomenal, transformational women leaders in various industries. And what we all have in common is what our grandmothers poured into us. So they came along with me on this journey, and you will hear amazing stories. You'll hear more because we're headlining a lot of events this month and next month and so forth. But in closing, I really want to say this because this is on my heart, that I'm so honored. I told someone earlier when my sister, I sent her the text so that she could watch the podcast today, my sister, Terry. And
Hi, Terry.
Dr. Terry Brown. And Terry watched the podcast, but when she first clicked on it, she messaged me back, Al, that's Al. That's Al Thomas, right? And I'm like, right. So Terry was 10 years old when she met you. And Dr. Terry Brown is now doing amazing things. And I got excited when she sent that text message back because it made me think again about when you and I recorded the podcast. And then it made me think about coming on and talking to you again today. And this is so special because this is what it's all about. Like being able to pay it forward, being able to pour into someone's life. I was 23 years old, you know, straight out of college, doing what people told me to do with that linear income on the job that I was, and nothing was wrong with that, except I hated the job, right?
Like most people.
Yeah, I mean, I did not. I hated it. I couldn't stand the place and the work. And so you gave me an opportunity and you exposed me at 23 years old to some things that I had not, like I had great role models in life that had taken me to the place where I was at that time. But then you expanded my vision in such a way. Like you showed me, like really, I'm just gonna tell the audience, like he showed me some checks.
Go ahead.
It changed my life. I was like, what? People making this kind of money? You know, I mean, and we should do that. Whether it's income, it doesn't have to be money. Whatever it is that you have and you possess, that's a gift from God, you owe it to yourself. And, you know, it's our obligation to be able to pour into someone else, to share that gift, to be able to help that person to see beyond where they are. And I wasn't in a bad place. Like I've had people pouring into me my whole life. It's when I met Al, though, when I met you, you started showing me some things and talking to me about multiple streams of income and talking to me about residual income. And I was like, residual income? You're like, yeah, like money when you go to sleep that you're making. And I'm like, what? Like nobody ever told me about that. I got a whole finance degree and nobody ever taught me about that, you know? And so I think it's really important. And if the listeners don't remember a whole lot of the other things that I said tonight, let our sitting together and talking be something that you remember, that my work around Grand is about legacy building. It's about pouring into other people. It's about being a servant and being selfless and being able to open as many doors for other people as you can. Because I know that the more I'm able to serve others and open doors for other people, sowing and reaping, just like I talked about in the last call, I know that I'm taken care of. You know, I know that every time I open the door for someone else, I mean, it never fails. I guarantee you by the time we get off of this podcast and I check my LinkedIn, you know, or I check my DMs, as they say, I guarantee you, as I'm opening the door for someone else, I guarantee you there are always going to be, and there will be even tonight, opportunities waiting for me.
Yeah.
So that servant heart and being a servant leader and modeling that art of connecting and being able to open the doors for other people. I'm in St. Louis. If you give me a chance to say this, I got to get this part off my heart. You know, I'm in St. Louis and I have charged every woman that I meet in this city to stop being a gatekeeper. You know, I'm saying this to all of the people that are listening in today. You know, like we have been conditioned to think that if we get something, we have to hoard it. You know, if somebody tells you about a grant for your nonprofit, that you got to hurry up and get that grant and not tell anybody else. You know, if you get an opportunity to come and speak somewhere, you don't want anybody else to know about that event until they lock you in as a speaker because you don't want them to be a speaker. It's like, just do this.
That's scarcity.
All of that, you know?
They live in scarcity.
Yeah, not an abundance mindset, but a scarcity mindset. And
the thing about scarcity, you got to let it flow. You know, with a closed fist, you can't give or receive. The more God gives you, the more you open, the more He gives you. And people, there's a difference in the Red Sea and the Dead Sea. You got to circulate it. What if our blood stopped circulating? We have a blood clot, now we die. That's what's same with money. The money's got to flow. If it's not flowing, see, money loves speed. Money loves wisdom. Money will go to those who know how to give it to others. And the Bible says, give it unconditionally and watch it come back. But we're so scared. Scared money. Look, scared people can't make money. I'm on here promoting Miss Tina Grimes. I mean, since 22. I mean, I'm still promoting her books. Libya Link. Get her books. Get this book. Get that book. Grandma's the grand. And if she was saying that, I was thinking about Bill Withers, that song, Grandma's Hand. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna send you. I gotta show you. So I'll probably send this to you when we get off. I did something for the largest hospital system in St. Louis, and I have it on video, and it opens up with Grandma's hands.
Yeah, see, that's Bill Withers, guys. But when she said that grand, I'm thinking about Grandma's hand. You know, my first book is called God's Gifts, and it's on my channel, all Al Thomas Official, and the book is free. It's called God's Gifts, and it talks about why I wrote the book. God said, "Don't sell it, give it away for free. Give it away for free." And help bless people, because see, when you give, it come back. And my second book just came out, Entrepreneur Mindset to Wealth, is on Amazon. Go pick it up, guys. Entrepreneur Mindset to Wealth. Yeah, I've had 3 jets. That's the Rolls. I've had the Rolls, the Bentley, the Mansion. I've had anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. And I didn't tell you, I have 3 books in the pipeline. Like 2 are one is in editing, another's in editing. And my grand series, this is a movement, not just a book. So if you're listening right now and you're like, I want to tell my grandmother's story, reach out to me.
You got me want to put on my track shoes and catch up with the book writing.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. We help each other and
eat off of each other.
Motivating each other.
Yeah, you started dropping those nuggets. I was looking for my ink pen. I'm still learning, right? We're lifelong learners. I'm like, here. ABC,
always be closing, but always learning, always learning. The day you think you know it all, you start dying. If you think you know it all, let me give you a tip. Those that think they know it all, go to a library to show you what you really don't know. Don't know.
Yes.
Well, listen, dear,
yes.
I have enjoyed tonight. I thank you so much. You look as gorgeous as always. Ladies and gentlemen, audience, let me give you guys a little tidbit. Go get the book. The links below. Pick up mine, pick up hers, pick up both. But also share this video out when it gets released. Share it out to several people and then discuss it. And that's how you grow. Discuss it and learn. And there's a lot here tonight that she gave tonight. It was a lot of great bullet points. I'm trying to slow her down so you guys can pick up. It's like time to interview. Hey, hear this, you hear that? Because she gave so much that I want you to go back and methodically get a notepad and pen and take notes and listen. Listen, Linda, and take notes on it. Miss Tina, thank you so much, beautiful lady.
Thank you, Al. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, go subscribe, hit the bell notification, alert you to all stuff we're doing. And we want to thank you and leave a comment. We love comments, and I hope this blessed you tonight. And like I say, send it out to your kids or grandkids, but send it out to 7 people. Why the blessing come back to you. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.